Hey yo, what's up, Wrestling Outlaws? It's been like a week since I did one of these because I've been trying to get back right with myself. So buckle up tight because you just crashed headfirst into the electrified, pulse pounding epicenter of VK Punk Wrestling. Your soon to be recognized, undisputed champions of all things pro wrestling. This ain't just a show, guys. It's a supernova of slams, promos, and passion, hotter than a steel cage in a volcano and wilder than a no holds barred street fight in a back alley. I am your ringmaster, Vin C Punk, here to guide you through the seismic collision of razor sharp mic work and raw, unadulterated heart that make pro wrestling the greatest damn spectacle on earth. Tonight, we're going to go through this weekend's insanity from SmackDown's opening bell to Saturday night's main event, epic clashes, all the way to Raw's explosive fallout. This isn't just a channel, it's a full blown uprising of the VK Punk Legion. And you're strapped in for the ride of your life. If your pulse is racing, like you just dodged a spear from Roman Reigns, smash that thumbs up button, crush that subscribe button, and slam that bell icon to stay locked into every heart stopping second. Want to turn the heat up to 11? You can stalk us on X, Instagram, or I'm sorry, not Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook for exclusive clips, spicy takes, and behind the scenes fire that'll keep you hooked 24/7. And if you're ready to join my personal rebellion, easy for me to say, you can stalk me, Vin C Punk, across all those platforms as well for a VIP pass to the pandemonium. VK Punk Wrestling, we the ones for wrestling content, okay? But before we leap into all that madness and get into the ring, let's throw a spotlight on our partners over at Capco Championship Belts. These guys forge title gear so dazzling it makes Stone Cold Steve Austin raise a cold one in respect. These aren't just belts, they're legacy-defining masterpieces from WWE replicas that scream authenticity to custom designs that carry your story like a main event victory. Their master craftsman, Abdul, is the real Shawn Michaels of belt making. Every piece is a showstopper, blending precision with pure swagger that would make even Ric Flair jealous. And our channel's title is finally here. I know that I've been talking about it for a while now. Well, it's complete and delivered. Our custom VK Punk title. Oh, made by Capco Championship Belts. Look at that. That thing is pretty. Woo! This is made by our lovely sponsor, Capco. Capco also hooks you up with some really amazing gear. They have tees, hoodies, masks, and hats that scream main event energy. You can cruise over to www.capcointernational.com and check out their unreal lineup and mention Vincey's got your back. Their other contact info is on the credit screen to this very video. Capco's gear hits harder than a GTS from CM Punk. Get in on the action and grab it now. Thanks, Capco. All right, so let's climb between the ropes and kick off with Friday Night SmackDown. The show opens with a hype reel of the cards. The superstars storm the arena, building anticipation for Saturday night's main event a little bit. We dive headfirst into a women's triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier featuring Charlotte Flair, Julia, and Zelina Vega. The bell rings and it's instant chaos, classic triple threat style here stuff here, guys. Charlotte and Julia form a temporary alliance in and out of the match, targeting Zelina, who takes a beating like she's auditioning for the Underdog Hall of Fame. Early on, Charlotte asserts dominance, tossing Zelina into the corner with a wicked chop that echoes through the arena. Julia follows up with a crisp dropkick, keeping Zelina in the ropes, but Zelina's scrappy, dodging a double team attempt and landing a Hurricane Rana on Julia. Charlotte climbs a turnbuckle, launching a diving crossbody that flattens both opponents. She struts over their prone bodies like a queen to hit her signature moonsault with picture-perfect execution, but both women kick out at two, drawing a huge pop. Julia shifts gears now, locking Zelina into the Ring of Saturns, rolling it into a slick pin, but Charlotte breaks it up. Zelina fights back with a 619 on Charlotte, only to get caught by Julia's snap suplex. Charlotte spears Julia for a near fall. She slaps the figure eight on Zelina. She slaps the figure eight on Julia, but Zelina breaks it with the code red. The action's relentless. Charlotte tries another spear, but Julia counters, hitting her signature move on Zelina for the pin. This it definitely gets a yay. This match was a roller coaster, delivering far more than I expected, despite a slightly choppy start where the timing felt a little off, like a tag team missing a cue. I'm not usually on Team Charlotte. Those nepotism vibes are hard to shake. Or Zelina, whose U.S. title run feels like a fever dream that she just... I mean, I don't understand why she's got it. But Julia, she's the real deal. Her win was a shocker, given she was the likely pin taker against two established names in this match. This NXT call-up alongside with Stephanie Vicor, who have only been on the main roster in NXT for barely a year, and now they're up on the main roster already. She's already stealing the show, guys. With her technical prowess, charisma, and let's be honest, her star quality looks, Julia winning sets up a compelling Money in the Bank storyline. Could she grab the briefcase and cash in for a title? Her potential is sky high. And this victory feels like the first step in a main event push. The match showcased each woman's strength, Charlotte's athletic arrogance, Zelina's resilience, and Julia's next level talent. It's a yay for the storytelling and the surprise factor, though the early clunkiness keeps it from being perfect. We cut backstage and DIY cut a fiery promo accusing the Motor City Machine Guns and Faxium of conspiring to hold him down. Ciampa vows to whoop dudes in his singles match against Chris Sabin. Meanwhile, Zelina gets jumped by Chelsea Green, sparking a brawl that pulls in Michin and B-Fab. Nick Aldis steps in, booking a tag team match between the Secret Harvest and Michin and B-Fab. In the ring, Ciampa and Saba is a technical clinic. The bell rings, and they trade holds with Sabin landing quick arm drags, Ciampa taking control, trapping Sabin in the corner for a barrage of chops, then turns Sabin's chest redder than a stop sign. Sabin bows back, sending Ciampa outside with a drop kick, then follows with a suicide dive. After a break, both men are down, but Sabin catches fire, hitting a springboard tornado DDT for a near fall. On the apron, they trade chops until Ciampa lands the gravy train for a 2 count. Gargano distracts the ref. Shelley gets involved, and Candice LeRae sneaks in, nailing Sabin with a cheap shot. Ciampa capitalizes with a running knee, stealing the pin. So, no, this one gets a boo. I am a huge fan of Ciampa and Chris Sabin. They're both workhorses who deserve better than this messy finish. The match itself was a banger with crisp exchanges and hard-hitting moments that showcased their chemistry, but the SmackDown Tag Division is convoluted circus right now, man. It's just real muddy and a big mess. One-on-one matches and tag feuds are great for building momentum, but the constant interference, LeRae's cheap shot after Gargano and Shelley neutralized each other, felt unnecessary and lazy. Why not let these two just slug it out? The division's drowning in outside shenanigans, and it's frustrating when the in-ring talent is this good. A DIY reunion with the Way vibes would be pretty cool, though, now that we got Candice LeRae back in there. Maybe pull in Austin Theory post the A-Town Down Under split. That could be gold. But let me tell you a story outside the match, not in the middle of it. Boo for the booking, not for the performers, however. Excuse me. Backstage, Faxium hypes their title shot against the Street Profits while an Arby's-sponsored spot teases John Cena's heel turn. In the arena, Damian Priest gets ambushed by Drew McIntyre, sparking a wild brawl. Priest grabs a mic, vowing to get some tonight, and dives back into the fray as security scrambles. Meanwhile, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu strategize for their match, but Fatu's distrust of JC Mateo simmers. Solo urges them to channel it in the ring. The Secret Harvest faced Michin and B-Fab in that tag match that was booked earlier next. Piper dominates early, tossing B-Fab around like a rag doll, making it look like a squash. B-Fab fights back, tagging Michin, who runs hot with a flurry of strikes. Chelsea tries to interfere, but Zelina neutralizes her, letting B-Fab capitalize with the roll-up for the upset win. This gets a yay. This match was a pleasant surprise, largely thanks to B-Fab's shine. WWE is clearly high on her as the last hit row survivor that is still employed by the company, and this slow burn push feels earned after years of stop-start booking. The match was solid with Michin's hot tag bringing the energy and Piper's dominance setting the tone. The Secret Harvest without Chelsea's U.S. title feels a little weird, as I've been saying. Her reign gave them edge, but this sets up the potential Money in the Bank redemption arc for Chelsea. The only downside is it felt a bit rushed, like a mid-card filler, but B-Fab's moment and the crowd's pop make it a yay for sure. It was pretty good. Okay, so when we cut backstage, the Street Profits vow to repeat their win over Fraxium. While the new Bloodline tensions grow, Fatu and JC are visibly out of sync. Santos Escobar tries to rally Legado, but Berto scoffs at the family talk and walks off. Jimmy Uso and Phoenix hype each other up before their tag match against Fatu and JC, with Solo at ringside. The bell rings. Okay, everybody makes their entrance. The bell rings and Jimmy starts hot, landing a super kick on Fatu. Solo taunts Jimmy throughout the whole match, distracting him. And JC tags in here and staring down Fatu. Jimmy capitalizes, but JC shuts him down with a lariat. Phoenix tags in, and he and Jimmy clear the ring with the Jimmy-assisted springboard corkscrew dive. That sends the crowd wild. And after a break, JC dominates Jimmy with a power slam, but Fatu tags in, landing a hip attack. Solo tries to recruit Jimmy mid-match. He's been selling him out the whole match. Dude's on the ropes, and he's trying to say, just come home. But Fatu and JC's miscommunication lets Phoenix and Jimmy rally. Phoenix hits a poison Rana for a near fall, but Solo's interference and JC's tour of the island seal the deal for the new Bloodline. This definitely gets a yay for multiple reasons. This match was a storytelling masterclass, blending high-flying action with Bloodline drama. JC's win over Jimmy sets up juicy tension with Fatu, who's clearly not vibing his teammate. Solo's leadership shines, but with Tonga and Tonga Loa sideline, where will their loyalties lie as this new Bloodline explodes too? Jimmy and Phoenix as a team was an unexpected banger. Their chemistry popped like nobody's business, man. The Toy Islands is a brutal closer, man. Such a good finishing move. And this storyline is heating up like a 5-star main event. The only nitpick is Solo's mid-match promo. Felt a tad overdone, but it was good. I wouldn't stop it. It didn't derail the action at all or nothing like that. So yay for the in-ring work and the narrative depth here. Next, LA Knight crashes a backstage interview, oozing charisma and hyping his Money in the Bank qualifier against Aleister Black and Shinsuke Nakamura. R-Truth hits the ring next, though, delivering a heartfelt promo as Ron Cena calling out John Cena's ego and vowing to save wrestling at Saturday night's main event. We always give R-Truth a yay because he's a national treasure. His We Riot line and Ron Cena gimmick had me laughing so hard I nearly spilled my coffee, man. This man deserves a title run. I can't say that enough. I know it's never going to happen, but this segment was pure gold. The Money in the Bank Triple Threat qualifier sees LA Knight, Aleister Black, and Shinsuke Nakamura tear it up. Nakamura and Knight briefly team up, targeting Black, but Black takes control with a series of kicks. Knight and Black trade blows in a dream match moment, with Knight landing a box jump superplex. Nakamura's knee and Black's moonsault keep the pace frantic. After a break, Black strikes lead to a near fall, broken up by Knight. Nakamura takes out Knight, but Black hits Black Mass. Knight steals the pin after a chaotic finish, earning his Money in the Bank spot. So definitely gets a yay. This was a clinic from 3 underutilized superstars. Knight and Black's chemistry was electric. Someone booked that singles match ASAP. Nakamura brought his A game, and the crowd was eating it up. Knight's win was the right call. He's been grinding since his U.S. title reigns, and the WWE Universe love him. Black's still a main event threat, but Knight's momentum makes him the Money in the Bank dark horse. The only flaw, the finish felt a bit rushed, but the action was so good, it was easy to get a yay on this. We go backstage where The Miz mentors Carmelo Hayes for his Money in the Bank qualifier, while Logan Paul versus Jey Uso package hypes their Saturday night's main event clash. Nick Aldis books Fatu into a Money in the Bank qualifier, fueling the bloodline drama that is there. Bianca Belair cuts a promo about her recent struggles, vowing for a comeback. The main event pits Fraxium against the Street Profits for the tag team titles. The Profits dominate with quick tags and blockbusters, but Fraxium fights back with a dive train, and after a break, Axiom and Dawkins trade holds with Axiom, breaking free for a DDT. Frazier runs hot, landing a superplex, but the match descends into chaos with DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns coming down the ringside. But then the lights go out, and you just know who it is. The lights come back on, and the six are in the middle of the ring. They take out everybody. They wipe them all out. Nikki takes out Candice LeRae. Uh, Eric Rowan is taking out multiple people at a time. Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis are doing cool double team stuff in the ring. The Bryant birthday candle nod and all of that Firefly lit arena to close the show. That was great. This match was pretty fire until the overbooked ending, but the sixth debut or their return was electric. Nikki taking out Candice, Rowan's Carnage, and the Bray tribute gave me chills. The tag division's messiness is a drag, but the Wyatt callback and sheer chaos make this a yay. R.I.P. Bray, happy birthday. So SmackDown overall gets a yay. The women's triple threat and bloodline tag match were highlights, with Julia and JC stealing the show. The tag division's interference-heavy booking is a mess, but the singles and the women's stories carried the night. B-Fab's push and Knight's win set up exciting Money in the Bank arcs. A few hiccups kept it from being perfect, but the highs were sky high. Saturday night's main event is what we're going to get into next. Jesse Ventura on the microphone with Joe Tessa and a lot of this stuff. Ventura hyping the Drew versus Damian Priest cage match, insisting that it will end in a pin, not an escape. Funny considering he called similar matches that ended exactly that way on Saturday night's main event before. I think there was like 3 other times that it's happened on Saturday night's main event, and he actually called 2 of those matches. I don't know why he tried to say it wouldn't be like that. So up first, we get CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. There's not a whole bunch of segments here. It's mostly just matches. I don't know if I wrote down all the segments. But Punk and Zayn attack pre-bell, tossing Rollins out and clotheslining Breaker over the top. The bell rings and Zayn dominates Rollins with an exploder suplex. Breaker catches Zayn on the apron with a diving lariat, sending him crashing into the commentary desk. After a break, Punk tags in, unloading on Rollins with a running knee and setting up the GTS. Rollins escapes, but Punk hits the Pop Rocks for a near fall. Rollins counters with a pedigree, but Zayn breaks the pin. Zayn lands an Arabian press and on Breaker outside. Bronson Reed jumps the barricade, flattening Punk through another barricade. Breaker capitalizes, spearing Zayn for the win. Post-match, Reed crushes Punk with a tsunami as Rollins and Breaker hold him down. This was a high-octane opener, folks, with all 4 men delivering their best. Punk and Zayn's chemistry was surprisingly tight, and the Pop Rocks nod was a fun surprise. I don't know why. Reed's attack was a wild curveball. Why is he with Rollins after trying to end him last year? The storytelling is intriguing, but this crew needs a name to cement their identity. The only nitpick is the abrupt Reed interference, but the action and post-match beatdown definitely make this a yay. Next up on the card, it was the women's U.S. titles, Zelina Vega and Chelsea versus Chelsea Green. Right? Ooh. Yeah. Okay, so Green attacks at the bell, but Vega ducks a boot, hitting a head scissors takeover. Green counters a 619, but Vega lands a big knee. This fight spills outside where Green powerbombs Vega off the apron for a near fall. Green works Vega over, but fires distraction, lets Niven crotch Vega on the top rope. Green's nose starts bleeding, maybe broken. We come to find out that it is. But Vega rallies, hitting the top rope code red to retain. This gets a boo. Boo for this. This was a letdown compared to Vega and Green's usual chemistry. This match had sloppy moments. A lot of Vega matches have sloppy moments. Miscues and recycled code red finish from SmackDown. Vega's reign feels unconvincing, and Chelsea deserves her title back to restore the Secret Service's edge. The interference was predictable, and the bloody nose added drama, but didn't save the match. Boo for the execution, not for the effort, guys. It's not y'all's fault. It's dumb booking. So Truth next. He comes to the ring as Ron Cena, rocking Cena's gear and his music. Cena attacks pre-bell, landing shoulder blocks and a 5-knuckle shover as the crowd boos. Truth counters with his own 5 moves of doom. But Cena kicks out. Truth locks in the STF, forcing a rope break. Cena nearly uses the title as a weapon, but hesitates, shaking Truth's hand, and low blows him anyway and hits the AA for the win. Post match, Cena clocks Truth with the belt anyway. But this definitely, this was good, but it also could have been better. Cena's heel turn is clicking, and Truth's Ron Cena gimmick was comedy gold. How does he keep a straight face when he does all of these spots, man? He's amazing. Beating up a beloved babyface like Truth cements Cena as a villain, though. But WWE missed a chance for a truly ruthless moment, like sending Truth to the hospital or something. Uh, the the post match belt shot was solid, but not enough. Cena should have just laid waste to Truth, and I mean, really just took him out. He would have got so much heat, and it would have been amazing. Cena's kind of doing this weird thing right now, but it made it work. It was okay. So next we have the steel cage match with Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Um, McIntyre ambushes Priest pre-cage, bringing a chair inside, a couple of chairs, I think. They trade strikes with Priest hitting a flatliner, McIntyre lawn darting him into the cage. Priest misses a stage dive, and McIntyre capitalizes with a suplex off of the cage. After a break, Priest lands a Claymore and a South of Heaven, but McIntyre kicks out. McIntyre returns the favor with South of Heaven, but Priest escapes. McIntyre unloads chair shots, but Priest counters, driving McIntyre's throat into the chair and hitting a concerto, a single man concerto like Edge, which is kind of poetic when you think about where the Judgment Day came from and how, yeah, I mean, it's a lot to think about. But so Priest walks out, and he just walks out, pausing on the steps, uh, possibly to troll Ventura's prediction, and it drops to the floor for the win. Woo, it was good. Yeah, this was brutal bloody brawl that lived up to the cage match hype. The chair spots and concerto were vicious, though the ladder stretches the believability. Nobody's walking away from that. Priest walks out. Priest's walkout was a hilarious jab at Ventura, and the intensity never let up. A slight ding for the over-the-top concerto, but this was a yay for delivering carnage and storytelling. So the next match, it's the main event of the night. Jey Uso, our World Heavyweight Champion, versus Logan Paul. When the bell rings, Jay starts out strong with a shoulder block and uppercuts. Paul counters with some diving blockbusters and a senton, gloating with a kippa. Jay tries an Uso splash, but Paul gets his knees up. Paul exposes the turnbuckle, but Jay avoids it. Cena pulls the ref out, but Cody Rhodes runs in, dropping Cena with the crossroads. Jay capitalizes with a spear and Uso splash to retain. After the match, Rhodes challenges Cena and Paul to a tag match with him and Jey Uso at Money in the Bank. So we are going to have both of the main titles in the same match on opposite teams in a tag match. But anyway, Jay looks mostly like a star in the ring, and despite some of his catchphrase stupid crap, really good. But Paul's repetitive shtick is wearing thin, same promos, same moves in the ring. The ending saved it, setting up a massive Money in the Bank tag match, kinda. Cena's interference and Rhodes' save added drama, and Jay's win keeps his reign hot. Yay for the stakes and setup, but Paul needs fresh material. Okay, so for Saturday night's main event, we're going to give it a yay. Woo! The tag opener, cage match, and Cena Truth stories were standout moments with the Money in the Bank setup adding excitement. The women's title match was a misstep, but the highs outweighed the lows. This was a strong show with big implications, right? So now we got one last hot tag left because we got to do Raw 2. I'm going to get right into it. Raw kicks off with a Saturday main event recap, followed by Michael Cole hyping Tampa, Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed hit the ring. Heyman hypes Breaker as a from a bloodline of badasses and Reed as a violent man in a PG era, claiming Reed did more damage to Rollins than Roman in one night than Roman ever did. Rollins vows to dominate Money in the Bank and reclaim gold, but the crowd gives him the Dirty Dom treatment, booing him when he starts talking, cursing at him, chance of OTC, chance of CM Punk. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Yay, boo. This one's hard to call. The promo set up Rollins' crew, but felt like a rehash of obvious goals. Seth chasing the title is no surprise. Heyman's mic work was fire, and the crowd's heat added energy, but it lacked new info. A soft yay for establishing the group, but boo for not advancing the story at all. A triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier comes next. It pits Penta against Dragon Lee and Chad Gable. The Luchadors gang up on Gable, who fights back with German suplexes. Penta lands a roll-up for a near fall, but Gable takes control with a Chaos Theory suplex. Lee hits a running knee, but Gable catches him with another suplex. Penta runs hot, dropping Gable with a tandem move, and Gable looked like he landed awkwardly as all hell. Gable sells it like a pro and rolls right outside, so Penta can land his tope con hilo. After a break, Vikingo was at ringside, distracting Gable. Well, Gable was kind of messing with him. Lee dives onto Penta, and Gable attacks Vikingo. In the ring, Lee powerbombs Gable for a near fall. Penta hits the Penta drive on Gable for the win. This, of course, gets the yay. This was triple threat chaos at its finest, fast-paced, hard-hitting, and unpredictable. Gable scary bumps. That tandem move looked rough, boy. Showed his toughness, and Penta's win was the right call. He's over, and will bring insanity to Money in the Bank, obviously. Picture Mexican Destroyer to a ladder. It's going to happen. Vikingo's interference added drama without derailing the match too much. The only flaw was Gable's awkward landings. But he powered through like a champ, man. Yay for the action and the storytelling here. Okay, so next up, Rusev has a long squash match with Tozawa. He wins with the accolade, of course, after just a couple minutes. Refusing to release until Sheamus' music hits. Sheamus comes down to the ring and they just kind of stare off at each other. Definitely teasing a feud here. But Rusev just looks away. So, yay. This was a perfect squash. Rusev looked dominant, and Tozawa's scrappiness kept it fun. Sheamus' stare down sets up a dream match between former League of Nations faction mates. Really salivating for this one, guys. A backstage segment with Kathy Kelly and comedians is a total flop. I don't even care about that. It gets a boo. I hate when they do this stuff on Netflix. Nobody asked for this. Move on. The New Day and the Creeds and the War Raiders in a triple threat tag title match. The Raiders dominate really early with Eric tossing Ivar into opponents. The New Day and the Creeds team up, clearing the ring. After a break, Woods and Julius trade blows, but Ivar runs hot, wiping out the field. Everyone gets a moment to shine with this one, but Woods steals a win with a tight-pulling roll-up, despite Julius seemingly kicked out before 3. So, boo. This one definitely gets a boo. Listen, guys, the Creeds are the future. They're athletic, exciting, and improving with every outing. They look more and more great. The New Day's win felt cheap, and the ref's call was questionable. The action was stellar with everyone hitting big moves, but the finish in the New Day's scale act kind of dragged this down a bit. Boo for the booking. Once again, not for the effort of the performers. Next, Jey Uso and Gunther trade promos. Gunther congratulates Jey's reign, but calls him an unworthy champion, promised to dethrone him. Jey vows to make Gunther tap out again. Boo. This rehash really feels unnecessary. Jey needs fresh opponents, not Gunther number 2, not Jey, Jey versus Gunther 2. The promo was solid, but it didn't break new ground, really. We just got this feud a little while ago. So, Liv Morgan and Kairi Sane is a banger. Liv starts strong with a powerbomb to the outside. Kairi counters with Three Amigos, hitting a spear after a break. Kairi lands a back fist and lariat for a near fall. Liv hits a code breaker from the middle rope, but Roxanne Perez's interference sparks drama with Raquel. Kairi capitalizes with a roll-up to a win. Yay. Great action from two top performers, elevating by Judgment Day's splintering storyline. The interference was a bit much, but the drama between Roxelle and Raquel added depth. Yay for the match and the story. Don't seem like I put all of the backstage segments on this, man. There's a lot of Judgment Day backstage segments. The first one where Liv came back and actually saw Dom trying to eat Roxanne's nuggets, and Carlito had that cool line, man. Carlito's the best. He's almost as good as R-Truth. And Finn's in the background just smiling. I mean, it's crazy. I didn't notice that until there was this video on Facebook or something, and that really just focused on Finn's face and nothing else while this was happening. Man, it's crazy. You got to see it if you haven't yet. But there's just this ongoing storyline throughout the night that every time the Judgment Day are on screen, they're just like they're just like deteriorating more. So next, Lyra Valkyria calls out Becky Lynch, who responds with a fiery promo, adding stipulation to their Money in the Bank match that if Becky wins, Lyra raises her arm. If Lyra wins, Becky's out of the title picture for good. Okay, or as long as she has it. Yay. Yay, this is good. It's another rehash, of course, but the personal stakes and Becky's unhinged energy make it a must-see. Becky needs the belt to restore its prestige, and this feud's just heating up, so I'd really like to see what's coming next. Next, backstage, Sami Zayn brushes off Karrion Kross, setting up future tension. The main event Money in the Bank qualifier sees Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Sami Zayn go all out. Zayn runs hot with an exploder suplex, but Rollins counters with a Falcon's Arrow. After a break, Zayn hits a sunset flip powerbomb, but Finn takes control with a sling blade. Rollins and Finn form a brief alliance, but Zayn fights back. Breaker and Reed interfere, and Dominic slides a chair to Finn. Or was it to Finn? It was kind of far enough away from him that he had to kind of crawl to it. And as he was crawling to it, of course, that sets Rollins up to hit the stomp onto the chair to win. Punk's music hits. Punk's music hits, and Reed and Breaker start going towards the entrance, leaving Seth in the ring. Punk comes up from behind him, smashes him a bit, and then runs down before he can get beat up by 3 people. So yay for this. But also boo. That could be a good boo. This was an action-packed thriller with all 3 men shining. Finn deserved the win, in my opinion. To shake things up, but Rollins' victory was predictable. Dom's accidental chair slide adds intrigue to the Judgment Day drama that, like I said, has just been heating up all show long. Did he mean to screw Finn? Sammy's fight was epic, but the interference tipped the scales. Yay for the action, boo for the obvious outcome. Raw's overall rating is it's going to get a yay. Despite rehashes, the matches were fire. The Judgment Day fracturing storyline was the night's MVP. Penta's win and the Rusev-Sheamus tease added excitement. A few gripes, but the action carried it. So let's go ahead and wrap up the whole weekend. The whole weekend gets a yay. SmackDown's tag division is a mess, but Julia B-Fab and the new Bloodline stories are gripping and interesting. They really shined. Raw leaned on rehashes, but delivered gripping matches and Judgment Day drama. Saturday Night's main event brought big moments and set up Money in the Bank perfectly. Each show had its flaws, but the highs, Julia's rise, the 6 return, Priest's cage match win, made for a thrilling weekend for wrestling fans. And I'll tell you what, as much wrestling as there is to watch right now, I wish there was more. I don't even watch all of it. I was catching up for a while, but like I said earlier, I've been trying to take care of myself a little better and not stay holed up in this house. So listen, Wrestle Renegades, that's the end of this video, and you guys are the lifeblood of the VK Punk Wrestling Legion. And we're damn honored to have you here riding shotgun in this wild, untamed journey. Before we crank the music and cue the pyro, let's take a pause and talk real for a minute, Because like I said, I took a break from videos this week. It's been a whole week since I dropped one of these videos. And this weekend, to get myself together and do some fun things, sometimes you gotta step out of the ring to recharge. You know what I mean? Life can come at you like a steel cage match with no escape. Work, stress, family drama, or those inner battles that hit harder than a Brock Lesnar suplex. But here's the truth, guys. You're tougher than a $2 steak and stronger than a German suplex on concrete. Mental health struggles, they're just another heel in the ring trying to pin you down. You don't need to be a superhero to fight back. Just take it one step, one breath, one moment at a time. Lean on your squad, spill your guts to someone you trust, or step outside and let the world know you're still standing. This community here, the VK Punk Legion, well, we're your tag team partners. We're cheering you on as you climb the turnbuckle for that big comeback. Your story is the main event, and every time you push through, the crowd's gonna erupt like it's WrestleMania. Keep swinging, keep shining, and know that we've always got your back here at VK Punk Wrestling. Now let's turn the volume to max and drop your hottest Raw predictions down in the comments, backlash, hot takes, or straight up wrestling love, or just make some noise. Let's make this place louder than a Stone Cold Pop. Annihilate that subscribe button too, guys. Share this with your wrestling crew to spread the VK Punk revolution, and track us down on X, TikTok, and Facebook for more unfiltered chaos. I'm Vin C Punk, and this is VK Punk Wrestling. We run the bingo, and we're shooting straight to the moon. We the ones for wrestling content. Stay bold, stay unbreakable, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Chin up, tits out, and deuces, oozes.